Sarah Alford, the president of OSEA, and Kirsty Sackman, who is the head of our chapter in Beaverton. And we are in this remarkable school, and you're seeing a whole bunch of books in front of us that kids in this great elementary school are going to pick up over the course of the day. We've had this amazing tour with one of the greatest principals I have met in my long history of being a union president and a school teacher. And let me tell you a little bit about the school and why we're here. Greenway is a school that serves a lot of kids with special needs. Through the pandemic, we didn't do as good a job as we should with kids with special needs. This school is showing us how to have the real solutions that really address not only the needs of kids, but help kids thrive. I am still buzzing from all the conversations I've had in all the different classrooms that we've had. But this is who we are. And our unit in Oregon, it's all classified employees, people who are para-educators, people who are bus drivers, people who do food, and people who are there helping kids not only learn to read, but love to read. And that's what the real solutions for kids and communities are all about. It is, how are we going to address the real issues that kids and families have, the real issues we hear from teachers and classified employees all the time? How do we address loneliness? How do we address reading loss or illiteracy? How do we address learning loss? How do we make schools fun? How do we make schools places where parents want to send their kids and educators want to work and kids thrive? And you see it all at Greenway. And one of the things I want to do is, by going to schools all across the country, to show the texture of how it's done and how you can seed things and scale what's seeded and sustain what's seeded, kind of like what you do in hydroponic planting. And so that's what you see at the school. One of the kids that we met is a young girl who had real struggles with reading. And the reading teacher and the classified employee, the para-educator, they figured out, the reading coach and the para-educator figured out, if this young lady ate a little bit first to feed her soul and feed her stomach, then it would open her up to reading. And now she has read every single Mo Williams book that's in the school. In fact, we gave her a new Mo Williams book today. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I love Prop Girl. This itchy book. Thank you. And she started telling us about all of the Mo Williams books and all of the characters. We were in another class where there's a book that we're using in the school. See, I'm making it a we now. Yeah, we're using in the school called We Matter. And we had this amazing conversation with the kids in that class, third graders, about the book and the application of the book. That is education. That's real solutions. That's what we're doing in this work. Last story I want to tell is, because we say in this Real Solutions campaign that you have to integrate social emotional work, well-being work, with academic work. And we walked right into the school. You see that. You see the intentionality at Greenway. You see it in terms of value and joy and happiness and inclusion. This is what education is. And so you see feeding, food programs, technology programs, experiential learning, social emotional work woven right through the day and right through literacy. And that is how we help every single child succeed. And here, we're doing it through para-educators, classified employees, working side by side with their amazing principal and with amazing teachers. I just love today and the school we saw and all the work that you see. These are the building blocks that you could use everywhere, connecting the dots, spending the time, looking at the joy in the first 2 weeks of school of these wonderful educators who just care so much about our kids in Beaverton and in Oregon.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you so much for coming and for bringing this program and for spending this time at Greenway. And I really want to, call out Kirsty Sackman and say thank you for bringing us to Beaverton and bringing up Greenway and really saying this is the school. It may not be like the new school, but it is the school. It is the heart. This is what is special about classified and about the program, and this is really where real solutions, where the wraparound services, where classified can come together and work together and find those benchmarks within each other and within each student, that not only do we meet them, but we're able to exceed them, and we're able to start from the bus driver to the food service to Miss Angie, who makes sure the custodial staff, who makes sure that the floors are good and everything is amazing. Miss A, as the students call her, to Miss Mary, who helps with feeding and reading, and then also the Pathway program, where we've had a lot of actual, Kirsty, if you want to explain, we've had some classified go up and become teachers here.
Yes, we have a really amazing Pathways program where our district partners with a lot of our classified staff trying to go up and continuing their love for literacy and education. And so we have some in this building, 2 very, very dedicated, more than 10-year classified staff work their way through local programs at Lewis and Clark, as well as at Warner Pacific, I believe. And they are former classified staff that have gotten their master's in education, and now we're our amazing library tech and para-educator who are now certified teachers, and right back here in the Greenway building, so we can keep sharing their love and their bond with students over literacy and learning. And they are very proud and excited to cheer on OSCA as they are former members of ours, and we just love the ability to wrap around students and our staff and work together for classified.
And so I also want to say thank you to Jen Witten. I introduced her as one of the principals in the United States of America. But Jen, thank you for letting us have this time together and for you spending the time with us, really connecting the dots. Because that's what this Real Solutions campaign is about, and what you see in Greenway is you see the visualization of the connecting of the dots. You see, when we say we want to build confident, joyful readers. Thank you. When we say, good. When we say we want to build confident, thank you.
Yeah.
When we say we want to build confident and joyful readers, you can't just do that. I mean, I wish we could, but it takes skill and knowledge and an ability to do that. And that's what we saw today. When we want to actually make sure that kids feel included, experiential learning is a real way of doing that. And that's what we saw today. And so, and when we talk about wraparound services, you don't have to be a sustainable community school. As much as I think that's a really important model to wrap services around the school. You just need to create and connect these pieces together. And Jen, you do that. It's really extraordinary. So thank you.
They're visiting Greenway. No, Greenway is an amazing community. It really is a community where always that people will do whatever a child needs, whatever a family needs, to help them be able to, as we say here, realize their best selves. We started this school year. We started with an activity with staff about, I don't know how many of you watched the Formula One show, Drive to Succeed or Drive to Thrive. So it's about a pit crew. and that we're not just about the race, it's about how can the pit crew be better. And really, we have pit crews here, and each time they're looking and thinking, how can I just get a little bit better? How can we do better, and how do we work together? So it is a teamwork. It really is. So
Fantastic.
yeah, thank you. We love this
Thank
place, and we love Greenway and being a part of Beaverton. So thanks for
Fantastic.
coming to visit.
And we forgot to talk about one of the most important staff members in this
We did,
school.
yes.
Where is Luna?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on down, Luna.
Come on, Luna. Luna has accompanied us all morning long.
Yay, Luna.
How are you? This is Luna.
And Luna supports a staff member here who is our emotions coach, Lauren Sangster here. All things amazing about Greenway. And but Luna really brings so much joy to students and families, and kids will ask if they can walk her and bring her a treat, and just the idea of she's a real part of her. She's in our staff photos. She's got a staff badge. She's a full member of our community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is
Thanks,
Luna.
Thanks, Luna.
Yeah.
So any questions for any of us?
Yes. Question for Randy or anybody really, but can you zero in a bit on why literacy is such a pillar of the campaign?
So fundamentally, educators are about knowledge and helping our kids have knowledge. And probably, other than how to have the skills to learn how to navigate the world in terms of personal skills, in terms of how to do that work, the most important skill, other than that, is reading, is literacy, is learning how to read, and then ensuring that a young adult, a young child to a young adult, becomes a confident reader, looks at a book and doesn't get scared about it, but wants to tackle it. And so if you don't start with literacy, then there's a huge hole in education. And one of the reasons why we wanted to be at Greenway with our OSEA chapter in Oregon is because all too often classified employees, para-educators, are overlooked in terms of what their essential role is to support how we help kids become joyful and confident readers.
I would agree that I think, very similar to what Randy said, I think the big thing on literacy is something like they do you to become your best self if you don't have the ability to read and learn and know that you could be a scientist, you could be a boy who likes to do makeup and cut hair. You can learn about other people's families that are different. Literacy is how you open up to the world and open up your mind into the reality of everything around you, and being an open person and getting excited about reading and wanting to learn more and learn more about the world is all done through the beginning of literacy and love. And I don't think there's a single classified staff that wouldn't say that we didn't all sign up for this job for the kids. It's for the kids, it's for our community, it's to give back. And I think something I know as a kid, reading books, seeing picture, even looking at the illustration, just getting knowledge of the world was really exciting. And I think as educators, no matter what role you're in, especially in classified, you want to share that excitement, get the kids excited. So I think literacy is just a really good way to meet everyone where they are, no matter what your role is or what age you are, we can all connect over literacy.
And I think, I'll add to that literacy, I think we all come into this work with our own personal stories, right? And literacy is something that you can go into and you can heal your own loneliness. That's where you can find your people and find your future and find your freedom. Literacy is a warmth and sort of that hug if you need it. And so without being able to bring this to others and without being able to lift up others to be able to feel that's a loss, right? That is a loss. And so literacy builds that.
Yeah, I would just, as a child, reading is what took me to different places. I had a lot of brothers and sisters, and so I was often found in a closet, needing a break, but it was through reading that I really imagined different worlds, different from my own, and to take on those different perspectives, which is really intentional about the collection that we build in our library here, that our books reflect the students that we have at Greenway. But I always say by the end of grade, we want our students to have all of the tools and skills they need to be advocates for a better world. So we think about that starts in kindergarten, learning letters and sounds, or in pre-K, how to play. But it really, the culminating idea is that by 5th grade, they're really able to have all of those skills and the awareness that they have the tools needed to make our world a better place.
Great.
And it is why it is so important, because these days, not enough people read, and not enough kids enjoy reading. And with all of the book banning that happens in places across America, you can see that's the worst thing to do if you're trying to cultivate a love of reading, if you're trying to cultivate a sense of belonging. So as others, so there's 2 components of this campaign that are about literacy. One is about making sure that kids have books, families have books that have diverse titles, that have diverse stories, so that it helps generate a love of reading, because you can see yourself in the books. And the second is the nitty-gritty of actually breaking down the components of reading and helping kids learn those different components. So that's the campaign, is both of those things. It can't just be a love of reading, as much as all of us love to read and saw that opening, because we have to move that number from 13 to 14 to 15% of kids who like to read right now to 80 and 90 and 100%. So we're doing both as part of the campaign.
Last question for Randy. If the answer can't be Luna, if you could take one element from Greenwood and pass it on to the other schools that you see, what would it be?
What I see at what I see here is a connection between people, the adults, that is real and authentic, and that enables a genuine innovation and exploration that becomes contagious. So the kids feel the connection between the adults, and it creates and helps create a connection with kids. The adults feel like they can take risks if those risks end up helping kids. So you see and feel a creativity, you see and feel risk-taking, all with the view of what do we need to do to help our kids succeed. That environment, that community, that connection is absolutely imperative. We are in a race in this country because of, whether you call it the division in the country itself, or whether you see the disconnection as a result of COVID, there is a race between anxiety and despair versus aspiration, between fear and hate versus love, between division and unity. And this connection and community that you have created, it's not easy. It has to be authentic. It has to be intentional, has to be real. And I saw it from the moment I walked into the door.
Thank you.
And that is what I take from this, because that's how you then say, oh, this literacy program can work. That's how you then build the technology program to an experiential learning program. That's how you see how the wraparound services, like on hunger, can actually help in so many other ways. That's how you see what I hear to be the greatest bus driver in the Beaverton
Yes,
school
Glenn.
district, maybe in Oregon itself, having food in his bus to make sure that kids are okay. That's the kind of connection that you see. That's what I saw here, connection and community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Awesome.